que tu quer adrenalina, já que tu quer lazer. A 180 por hora no grau de XT. Já que tu quer adrenalina, já que tu quer lazer. A 180 por hora no grau de XT.
Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today with a little bit of word on the street. Now the first one up is Joseline Hernandez. Y'all, Joseline has really pissed me off. So I'm pretty sure you heard about these tweets that Joseline put out concerning Stevie J's daughter. Basically, the first tweet was like, that whole mad cause I run her daddy. Now run along and find your own cock to suck, you nappy-headed bitch. Oh, Lord. And then, people started getting on her on social media, and then she didn't back down. She was like, that young lady is 18. She's grown enough to, I guess, dish it, so she's grown enough to take it. And basically she said she was done with the conversation. And, basically social media was saying, how would you feel if someone said that about your daughter? Now, here's how I feel about this. Yes, Stevie J's daughter is 18 years old. We saw that Stevie J's daughter, they pretty much don't want their father dealing with Joseline. They said that she was toxic. And it's not like they're making it up. What they said about Joseline is true. Now, here's where I feel that Joseline is being childish, because Stevie J's daughter is not 21. She is just 18. And Joseline, as the quote-unquote stepmother, there is a way to handle that. Basically, when they were sitting at the table, she should have turned to Stevie and said, Stevie, get your daughter. She could have said something like that. Or she could have turned to Stevie's daughter and said, look, this is between me and your father. I'm sorry that you feel that way, and left it at that. You do not, as an adult, a grown-ass woman, engage in any type of argument with this man's child. You direct all of it to him, so, you can kind of squash whatever is building with this young adult. You don't keep it going. And for Joseline to do that, I think it was wrong. Now, a lot of people on social media were kind of agreeing with Joseline, saying that Stevie J's daughter did insert herself into it, and she is, I guess, legally an adult. But you know what? I don't see it like that. As a parent of some adult kids that I know, if someone was coming at me, they would speak up and say something. But as their mother, I would turn to them and say, this is between me and them. You don't have to get into it. Now, of course, if the person was trying to club me over my damn head, I would expect my kids to, jump in and, get the person up off of me. But if we're in a verbal thing, or in this case, these kids were asking for an apology for all the things that Joseline said about their father on Twitter. And I don't see where they were wrong in doing that. Basically, they were saying, let's sit down and discuss this, and let's try to work this out. You said some really negative stuff about our father. And, Joseline got in her feelings, and that shows that she's smaller than what the kids are, because Stevie even asked her, could you apologize to them? And not in a phony way, in admitting what you said was wrong and sincerely apologizing to those kids, because they were hurt by it. And they also knew that it was a lie, and it was a very vicious lie, against their dad that could have gotten him in some trouble. I do not see where those kids were wrong. I just think Joseline is immature. I think she was totally out of pocket with what she said about his daughter. No, ma'am, you do not engage with those kids like that. Like I said, if it had been me, first of all, I would have never said anything about a man like that on Twitter knowing that I was telling a lie. But just say I had lost my mind and said that, and I knew I was lying and I knew that I was wrong, I would have just apologized to them. You know, I would have said it sincerely, because from what she said, they deserved a very sincere apology. You know, not some little fly by night. And then even when she was sitting at the table with that young lady, she basically told her, don't make me kick your ass. You know, you don't say that. You don't do that. But I agree with Stevie's kids. Joseline is toxic, and Stevie should not be fucking with her. The biggest mistake he ever did was having a baby by her, because he's going to be tied to this crazy bitch for the next 18 or more years. Let me know what y'all think about that. Do you think that Joseline was completely out of pocket with what she said, you know, on Twitter to Stevie's daughters and about Stevie's daughter? I think she was totally out of pocket. Leave it down in the comments, and on to the next story. The next story up, y'all, involves tennis great John McEnroe versus tennis great Serena Williams. And for those of you who don't know, John McEnroe was a great tennis player back in his day. I think John McEnroe is between 51 and 55 years old. So, you know, this is a while back that he played in competitive tennis. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is he made some comments about Serena Williams that, you know, I think were unnecessary and basically stupid. Basically, he has said something like, if Serena Williams played, you know, on the men's team, she would be ranked like 700 worldwide. First of all, Serena Williams is a woman, and Serena Williams is great in her own right. You know, they don't have female tennis players competing, you know, against men for any type of titles. Now, I know that there have been, you know, games played where, you know, they play for fun or something like that to see who would beat, you know, the other person. Secondly, right now, Serena Williams is very pregnant. And I just feel like they're always finding some reason to disrespect this girl and not give her her due. And y'all know why they do that. It's because she's black, and she is one of the greatest female tennis players of all time. Now, Serena Williams did come back, and basically she told him to keep her name out his mouth, that right now she was pregnant, and just let her basically have her baby in peace. Now, I'm paraphrasing, you know, because those were not her exact words, but that was the gist of what she was saying. She tried to say it very nicely. She even ended with "thank you, sir." But it's like, even though she's great, they won't give her her due. Now, whatever you think about Serena Williams' personal life, that has nothing to do with her professional life. We wouldn't even know who Serena Williams was if she was not associated with a tennis racket. And if she was a sorry tennis player, you wouldn't even know her name. The reason why we know who Serena Williams is because when Serena Williams gets on that tennis court, Serena Williams takes no prisoners. She goes out there and she plays the shit out of the game of tennis. And those bitches that play against her cannot beat her. When she walks off that court, she's whooped ass and taking numbers. And they can't take it that she's so good. You know, I had did a video a while back, and I talked about how very early in Serena Williams' pregnancy, she had a match that she needed to play in. And she hadn't announced to the world yet that she was pregnant. But she went and played that match pregnant. out there on the court, running around, hot, everything, jiggling her baby around, and she did great, like she always does. Now, I don't remember whether she won that game, but just the fact that she did not cancel, that she showed up and still gave her best. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think she did win. And then shortly after that, she announced that she was pregnant. And a lot of people were surprised. They thought back to when she actually played that last match and was like, this girl was on fire. How was she out there doing that in the early stages of pregnancy when you're nauseous and tired and you feel heavy and just everything? And especially with her, because this is her first baby. Y'all, like I said, I don't care what she has going on in her personal life, because I know a lot of black folks are not fucking with her now because, she's pregnant by a white guy. Put all that aside. Let's just respect her for what she has contributed to the game of tennis. You cannot take that from her. Like I said, you wouldn't even know who a Serena Williams was if she had not went to that game of tennis, her and her sister, and showed what a black girl can do when she's playing tennis. They're just jealous of her. And to compare her to, a man, what Serena Williams should do is play his ass and whoop his dusty, crusty, old, baby powder looking ass. Just whoop his ass playing tennis. He would not get on the tennis court with her because when he was, in his heyday, was a very nasty tennis player. Always had an attitude, got into all kind of arguments with the judges or whoever the people are that scored the matches in tennis, throwing his racket all over the tennis court. He was just, if anybody remembers John McENROE, if you think of him, you think of trouble. All you have to do is Google him, and it will tell you how he used to show his ass on the tennis court. Not only was Serena Williams good, but she carried herself with class, in the game of tennis. She could have been on the tennis court acting, all uppity and just like a queen because she was ruling the game. But when she went there, she was courteous to her opponent, and you never saw her on a regular basis being a bitch. John McEnroe was an asshole when he played. And a lot of people, they would say he could play, but they did not like his attitude. So I'm going to say it for Serena. Fuck John McEnroe's rusty, dusty, old, shriveled up ass. Leave Serena Williams alone and give her her due. Like I said, they're just jealous of her. And with that, y'all, I'm out. I done pissed myself off. Thank y'all, as always, for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.